Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet is what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at winbet.com or download the WinBet app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the SGP Final Four Watch Party. Saturday is the day to sweat out your bets and win prizes with Ryan, Sean, and Kobe over at youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. That's youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. And make sure to fill out our listener survey for your chance to win a $100 SGPN gift card. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survey. Yes, sir. We are back for another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real villain, real Terrell from Junior here at your service and breaking down a loaded Friday slate in the NFL. Got my co-host Scott Studio Rochelle. Scott, what's going on?
And nothing much. Looking forward to going through the Friday games. I know that there weren't exactly many games yesterday. In fact, both games were kind of horrible, if we're being honest with each other. But yeah, a lot of people were focused on baseball or hockey or pretty much any other sport because, yeah, you had two games on TV, and I don't know how many actually watched the fourth quarter because both games were kind of decided pretty quickly. Can I say that?
Oh, I was probably the only one that was watching the fourth quarter because I had the under in the Bucks and Celtics game. And it actually looked like it was gonna come, like it was gonna cash by the skin of our teeth. And then Thanasis goes and heads butts Blake Griffin. You get 4 free throws. They knock down 3. Total comes in. The total was at 238. Ends up at 240, 239. I think it was actually. Was it? It might have been like
It might have
240,
been like
239.
241, but it was around there.
Yeah, but
So.
either way, the 3 free throws was the key mark. Like the 3, I was just sick. I was really sick to my stomach because it was like 125 left, and it was an 8-point margin until the under cash. You had an 8-point margin to work with in 125, and you're like, all right, they're gonna go down. People are gonna take crazy shots, and you might make one, you might just barely get it. But the 3 free throws, oh my gosh, like the freaking, I don't know, man. That was brutal to me. It was literally the 3 free throws that cost us the under.
Well, I was going to say that the people that actually stuck around to watch the end of those two games either had a play on the total or they had a player prop of some kind because the actual side was decided within, I don't even know, a half of each game. Can we say that?
Yeah.
And the game wasn't exactly close either way, but nice win for Boston. They needed it, especially after they completely overlooked the Wizards and got killed.
I was about to say, I feel like if you overlook a team, you have to win the game you were overlooking them for. Like, then you just overlook them for no reason.
And in hindsight, we can easily tell the Celtics were looking ahead to this game for a while, and they, as a result, no-showed the Wizards game. Not a good excuse.
Foresight for me. Foresight for me, hindsight for you.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. But the point is, for me, I expected them to just beat the Wizards anyway. That did not happen, but that was a good win for Boston. And then you have Denver, which, truth is, I didn't learn anything from that game because Jokic didn't play. He might not play again today. We'll talk about that in a second. But Denver without Jokic, we know, is one of the worst teams in the league when he's off the floor. And they lost to New Orleans. Congrats to Ingram. Had another triple-double last night, so good for him.
Second career.
It was his second in the last month. Yeah, month, 2 weeks or so. So he's been playing well lately. But the point is, both games really weren't good unless you had action on a total in that Celtics game. But it was a bad beat for you. But the point is, at least you had something that you could sweat out at the end.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate
most people were just like, this game sucks. I feel like that was the main takeaway from the NBA yesterday for the casual viewer.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I think that was the point. And in NBA aspect, it probably worked out the best that it could have because you had the sucky games on MLB opening day that everybody cares about, and that's what apparently baseball is America's pastime. Well, that got a lot shorter because the games were like 2 hours and 30 minutes, which I really, really appreciated, by the way. I cashed the Braves team total in record fashion
Are
because
we about to have a Patrick Corbin discussion on the NBA show?
oh, I mean, you don't have to watch baseball. I don't watch the games. Like this is the thing. I handicap it. I do not watch the games. You are like you really won't see me watching games. But I know who to fade. And Patrick Corbin is that guy to fade, man. Oh my gosh. It was a great holiday. And so at
I was
least
on
that went well.
VSiN for yesterday's card. I gave out like 3 baseball plays and 3 hockey plays, and I went 5-1. So it was a
Oh,
good
okay.
day.
All
It was a
right.
good day overall for me.
Check him
But
out
I
on
really
VC.
didn't partake much in basketball. I was so focused on baseball and even hockey that I just didn't even bother yesterday.
I really felt good about that under. And the fact that the game script went complete opposite of what I thought it would go. Still, the under was in play. That it was the freaking headbutt, man. It was the headbutt. All right. Before we get into this card, let me talk to you about the official sponsor of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and that is WinBet. Now live in a bunch of states, including Massachusetts, where I'm sure everybody caught Boston as a dog, and and WinBet is really, really hurting over there. Be sure to look out for the WinBet Win Hour each Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And you have the March Madness tournament still underway. Final Four is this weekend. You can sign up today, receive a special offer, bet $100, get $100, limited to state availability. And of course, we have our DGens long shot parlay of the week, where if you hit the longest parlay of the week, you can get $1,000 free credit. So much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to winbet.com or download the WinBet app. All subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we have the Final Four watch party, as I alluded to, this weekend. On Saturday, you can catch Final Four action with Sean, Kobe, and Ryan in studio. They have live bets. They have prize giveaways, all at youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. So youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. And they'll also be giving away the winner of the SGP Masters contest. So if you haven't entered that already, make sure you do that at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. You can win a 3-night stay at Circle Las Vegas to hang with the guys as they watch the Masters at Stadium Swim. I'm trying to tell you guys, I've been to Stadium Swim. Really, really great place. You should go. It's really, really fun. And if you don't win the contest, you can still get a discount on a room using promo code SGP15. And I can confirm that Sean will probably buy you a beer if you pull up. Not gonna lie, Sean is good for buying you a beer. Jameson and ginger is his drink of choice, by the way. If anybody was curious of what Sean's drinking choice is, it is a Jameson and ginger 100%. Like every time I've been with him, he's ordered Jameson and ginger. All right.
I'm trying to
Let's
think if
get
that's even a good combo. I've never thought of having that in my life before.
You know, I'm not a Jameson drinker, but I'm pretty sure that I'm almost positive. Why would I make that up? Like,
I
why
didn't say
would I
you
make
made it
that up?
up. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
I don't
no,
think I've
but
ever seen
no,
anybody
I'm
have
just
that.
thinking to myself, like trying to is that the drink that I remember him? But why would I make that up? Because it has to be the drink he orders.
That's so random that I think it has to be right. You know?
It was so I had it once. Like I just told him to get me what you're having, and I'm pretty sure he said Jameson ginger, and it was straight. I mean, it was cool. I'm just not a Jameson drinker. That's it. All right. Let's move on to the card. First game up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road going to play the Indiana Pacers. Line is looking at about 2.5 right now for the OKC Thunder, -2.5. Total is set at whoa. My spread is different this week. Okay, 237. I'm seeing a 237 for the total. Opened up at 235.5. Now at the 237, 237.5 in some shops. Injury report for these two teams, and for the OKC Thunder, you have no SGA. Like they're not. Well, I mean, SGA actually has an ankle injury this time, so I guess okay, whatever. No SGA, no Lindy Walters the third, and for the Pacers, you have no Halliburton. Miles Turner is questionable. Buddy Hield and Aaron Nesmith are not on the injury report. Chris Duarte is out with that ankle injury. I mean, is this not the Vegas Dave Whale play of the day?
Well, we'll put it this way. Oklahoma City, let's just say, has not exactly been good lately at beating up on some of the bad teams in the league. They ended up losing to Charlotte in that high-scoring game. They lost that one by 3 in the end. Had a matchup against the Pistons. who are also benching half their team. They should have lost that game, but Rookie of the Year candidate Jalen Williams had the game-winning putback there to win the game. I don't really understand what's going on with Shea or what the management's doing with Shea, because the Thunder right now are in the 10 spot. They're only a game clear of Dallas
I mean,
for the
it's only one. What? It's two possible things. One, he's actually hurt, which could really be true, or two, they're tanking.
I'm saying, but the tanking part is very weird because they're in possession of the final play-in spot and there's 5 games left in the season. Like this is a little bit weird, isn't it?
I mean, if you don't think that I mean, really, like when we look at all these teams in the play-in, like not many of them have a shot of actually doing anything. So they
It's a
that
matter
might
of
be their
doing anything.
mindset.
It's just, you're the 10 seed. You've tried this far into the season. Why would you decide to start tanking now with 5 games left?
I don't even think they tried. I think they accidentally won these games because that's what it seems like over the past couple of weeks, that they accidentally won 30+ games.
Their draft
And
picks were just too good over the last couple of years that they
yeah,
had no choice but to win games.
yeah, no choice but to actually win games this time. The coach is actually a solid coach, so he's not going to be, tanking. Like I just this is Pacers plus 2.5. Pacers on the money line, man. They played like the better team with half of their team out. Like they've actually played like somebody who's in the running for a playing spot, and they're not. I don't know how you can trust this Thunder team. I'm not. Give me the
For
Pacers
me,
plus 2.5.
my favorite play on this game is going to be the over. I know it's a high total. I don't really care. I'm going to take the over. I know that it was around 230. I want to say 4.5 last night, and the money came in on the over, which doesn't surprise me. But Indiana, they've played against some decent competition lately, and let's just say they haven't guarded anybody, and I could see that being the case for both teams in the spot. So Pacers have lost 4 straight, gave up 149 to Milwaukee, 127 to Dallas, but Luka and Kyrie both didn't play the fourth quarter. Gave up 143 to Atlanta. So they're just handing out 130, 140 plus to any team that actually cares. I think you're going to see a lot of points in this game. The Thunder defensively have not been good either. They gave up 137 to a Hornets team with no LaMelo, no Rozier, and even no Dennis Smith Jr., who is, having a decent run there. They gave 43 points to PJ Washington. Like, both teams aren't even trying to guard anybody right now. I'm going to take the over in this one. I think there's a couple ways to get there. Either Indiana's defense hands out 130 or 140 again. Oklahoma City's defense doesn't show up and you end up getting 120 from Indiana. Or you see something that we just saw in the Milwaukee game against Indiana, which is the other team scores a bunch of points, but Indiana scores points too because of the pace they play at. I think pace should be high in this game. I like the over. I think each team's got a shot to maybe reach 120 here. Give me the over.
Yeah, 100%. I'm all over the over as well. I like the first quarter over between these two teams as well. Watching them over the past couple of games, they really, really get out to hot starts, especially the Pacers. The Pacers have just found ways to be able to score the basketball with a really, really quick pace in the first quarter, whether it's getting transition defense, whether it's just running up and down the floor because you have a bunch of energy, but they're really, really getting after it in the first quarter. In terms of pace. And so I think that with no defense, they can clear 59.5 in that first quarter for sure. I think both teams can definitely add 30 points. So
do you want to make a case for a team total in the first quarter, since Indiana season-wise has been the worst first quarter team in the league?
I mean, I still would take Indiana's team total, honestly. Because it's just with Ben Mathurin in the starting lineup, that kind of counteracts that because you have somebody that can create offense for them. And so now Ben Mathurin, it sounds like you're going to see Miles Turner there as well. Like I think that this team is pretty solid right now, at least in the first quarter, especially after watching that Bucks game and just watching how they were able to run up and down the floor and not only just create shots for themselves, but create shots for each other. Ben Mathurin, I think he had off the top of my head, I think he had 2-3 assists in that first quarter where he was just able to dribble, drive, and kick out to an open 3-point shooter, and they get a really good look at the ball. So, I think that the first quarter, I like everything about I just think that this is like a high scoring. If this was like a 60, 70 point first quarter, I wouldn't be surprised. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't be
That's
surprised either.
that's
If you
one
have like
thing.
130 plus points in the first half, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, yeah. So I like that. And I just can't get behind the Thunder right now, man. I really think the Pacers look like the better team. Like even with Halliburton out, with Mather inserted to the lineup, he's been able to just kind of go and get his. And now you have Buddy Hield coming back in this game as well. So we'll see what he wants to do, if he wants to dribble or if he wants to shoot. But I just I cannot buy into this Thunder team. And you got some reverse line movement in this game as well. So that's something I also like
Do
too.
you
But
dare take a leap of faith with Miles Turner rebounds in this game?
oh my god, I want to so bad, but I think I'd rather go Jackson or Smith.
I don't blame you. That's why I was
I
asking.
really want to. I really want to, but I think I'm gonna go Jackson or Smith otherwise.
I think I'm going to
But
go back to what worked for me in that Pacers game. Truth is, every prop I liked in that Pacers game hit because I was blindly taking overs. I
yeah,
like Nemhard assists at 6.5. I think that number is a bit too low. We know that Halliburton's out. He's going to be the starting point guard. He had 15 assists against Milwaukee last game. With the
I
crazy
like
amount of pace and the fact that I said both teams or each team might score 120, 6.5 assists. I think there might be some value on a double double from Nemhard just based on the pace alone.
yeah, double for Nemhard, McConnell as well. I think McConnell, like whether you get Nemhard running pace for majority of the game, or they decide to give the keys to McConnell for majority of the game, because it seems like even though McConnell comes off the bench, they have no problem playing him starter minutes. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think McConnell a double. Look for that later in the day. That could be an interesting piece as well.
I don't see a line on that right now, but I see
Yeah,
Nemhard.
he's coming off the bench. It's gonna be later.
Nemhard's 5-1 on a double double. How do I
And he
not
just had
blindly take
15 and
that?
15. I don't. Yeah,
5-1?
I just assume that he's gonna be, especially with Buddy Hield back. Like Buddy Hield back, that
He's a
adds more
shooter.
to your, yeah, that adds another option that you can go to with the basketball. I'm with you. I think that's comically too low,
And the
honestly.
Thunder, of course, have no actual, rim protection, so endless pick and rolls could end up resulting in some free layups or free threes for Turner. So yeah, I think Nemhard double double is kind of an auto play, especially at 5-1. I think that's a bargain.
All right. Um, I think I like Miles Turner blocks today. Let me see if I
Okay.
can pull up a line on that. Let me see if I can get a line on his blocks. Let's see.
I don't see
Scroll.
it.
Yeah, they don't have any Miles Turner stuff up, but it's probably gonna be at like 2.5, maybe some plus money on it. Yeah, I think that when you just think of looking at the personnel that the Thunder have right now, it's a lot of people that's gonna be trying to get to the rim in this game, and I think that he can anchor it down for them, and that's probably why he doesn't cash the rebounds prop. So I'd probably do it like blocks plus Jackson or Smith rebounds, and just saying that the game script is he's defending the interior of the paint. He's getting the blocks. Other people are corralling the rebounds. He's not really focused on the boards, and it's more of a Jalen Smith and Jackson kind of game. So I like something like that.
I see JR's mentioning that you can end up taking Neesmith to get a block at plus 120. He's had a block in 3 straight games.
Okay. Is he
So
one of those weird guards that just gets blocks all the time?
well, he's technically a 6'5" forward, but you're looking at how Indiana plays, and he's played a decent amount of minutes the last couple games. He's played
Hmm.
31 plus minutes in each of the last 2 games, and Indiana was kind of getting blown out in there. So he's kind of blowout proof, but he's in the starting lineup. But he has had a block in 3 straight. So if you want to make a case for a trend for a plus money, that's been a solid underrated option. If you want
Yeah.
to take Neesmith
Yeah. I don't think
plus
anybody's
120.
touching Neesmith for real. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next game of this. Well, no, before we do next game of the slate, let me talk to you about Shady Rays, because Shady Rays offers the most insane protection of all eyewear. Look, I'm telling you, I'm just I was watching the SGP show. They were talking about the NFL draft, and Sean put his Shady Rays on, and I could literally see his screen through the glasses. Like that's insane. I can only imagine. I'm waiting for mine to get here. Shady Rays. I'm waiting
Mine
on
actually
guys.
got here, I think yesterday. I think
Oh, really? Oh, they did. All right, cool. So, uh,
I'll wear them
Sean.
on the next show.
All right, there you go. He's got them on the next show for his Shady Rays. I'm gonna have mine next week probably. And if you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. So no risk when you shop Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. And we're also brought to you by Sword Vitality, because self-care is cool, self-care is manly, and there is no reason, no more hiding that little blue pill in your sock drawer. Look, if you have this issue, 40% of men are affected by impotence at age 40, nearly 70% of men at age 70. But here you go, because Sword Vitality, man, if you aren't experiencing your erections in the morning, they can help you. They can help you. You should be able to increase the blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man. Sword Vitality also can increase your stamina, in case you're a minute man. You can go a little bit longer than that. You don't gotta hide it. Be proud. Be proud of being a minute man. Be proud of using Sword Vitality. Unsheath your sword. Visit swordvitality.com. Use promo code SGPN for a nice discount at checkout. That's swordvitality.com. Promo code SGPN. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with that read.
Is it weird that whenever I hear the phrase Minuteman, I think of like Rip Flair? Is that weird? Because you know that like he had that promo where he's like, "Yeah, I'm a 60-minute man." And he just kept doing a bunch of woos across the
Yeah,
ring. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like Flair is the first thing I think of when I think of that phrase. But
Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun. Wait till part two. I'm gonna have so much fun with that read. All right, next game on the slate, we have the Orlando Magic on the road to go play the Washington Wizards. Line is moving around. Shop your best line. I think consensus is -1 Orlando now. Technically opened up at +4 for Washington. I'm almost positive not a soul got that. And so looking at, yeah, here, yep, +1 for Washington now. At home, 225 is the total. That's come down 4.5 points. Injury report here for these two teams. And we have for the Orlando Magic, Kevon Harris is out. For the Washington Wizards, Kyle Kuzma and Bradley Beal are both out. Daniel Gafford, questionable. Is this not the will play? Is this not a will play too?
I mean, I'm going to keep taking Orlando. I feel like this team, even though they lost to Memphis, gritty cover. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call them a gritty cover because they were getting killed in that game and they kind of came back to make it interesting. I like this Orlando team. And I was talking to Delonte about it on Twitter. I might place a bet on this team to make the play-in next year. I like what I've seen. They got off to a very slow start, and since then they've been pretty good. The Wizards aren't playing for anything. We've seen them basically shut down Beal and Kuzma for the rest of the year, and they're letting Porzingis, have some big stat lines because he's the only guy out there. But the Wizards had a nice win against Boston. I think we can agree after what happened yesterday that the Celtics were clearly looking ahead to Milwaukee. So good performance by Washington. Avdia played well. Morris played well too. But I really like how Orlando's played the last couple of weeks or even months at this point. Really, besides the really bad start they had, they've been a pretty good team. I'm going to take Orlando here. I know they haven't been good on the road, and I know that Washington just had a nice win. But I think it's fascinating that the Wizards just dominated the Celtics, who might be the best team in the East, maybe, and Orlando's favored on the road. I like Orlando here. They've been the more consistent team for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. Like, the defense of Orlando over the past 5 games has been really, really good. 109.6 points per game. That's sixth in the NBA during that span. 31.8% from three. That is fourth in the NBA during that span. 45.3% from the field. That is second in the NBA during that span. They're rebounding the basketball. They are forcing Are they? Yeah, they're forcing turnovers, sixth in the NBA in turnovers over that 5 game span. Like, they are locked in, and this is what happens. They're the Detroit Pistons of last year, where the second half of the season it felt like Detroit was covering any number you threw at them, and sometimes even winning those games outright. Orlando is that team this year, and we have talented young guys that we're not sitting. Pistons have talented young guys that they're just sitting them, and so they're not having the run that they did last year. We can talk about the Rockets a little bit later, but that's just a terrible organization. Whereas the Orlando Magic are bought into their young guys, they're bought into not tanking like other teams in the league, and they want to go out here compete every single night. It's a testament to the organization, testament to Jamal Mosley for keeping this team locked in, even though they know they're not going anywhere. And now you have them both battling for basically the loser is getting a better pick in the lottery of this game. Like that's almost for certain. And so I think that I just don't think that they have any options for them in Washington. I don't think they have any options in the front court. I think that the backcourt depth is going to be a problem for them. And who's slowing down Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner in this game? Like, I really don't see it. So I'm all over Orlando here. 2 games down, and I feel like both games that we said are locks. Honestly, like I truly think Orlando's about to come and just throw it down on the Wizards. And I would even take an adjusted line of like, because it would only be right for them to blow out the Celtics and then get blown out at home to the Magic. So like an
Yeah.
adjusted line of 11 plus, I would take that for the Wizards. I mean, not
Well,
for
I
the
was
Wizards, but
going to
for
say that
the
they have
Magic
played 3 times this season. Washington is 2-1. However, the first 2 meetings took place before February. The last meeting took place roughly 10 days ago, and
in
Orlando beat them at
Orlando.
home by 10. So
Yeah.
I care more about the recent matchup that they had there because the Wizards once again have kind of benched half the players that are worth a damn on this team. Orlando, I like. I think that they're a pretty fun team to watch. They have young talent. They're not resting anybody because they're trying to build up chemistry for next year. Once again, I like the overall nucleus of talent this team has, so I'm going to take Orlando.
Yeah, I do too. Orlando, that's a lock. Uh what's that total sitting at? 225. I
The
mean,
meeting they just
I
had
just give me a
landed
Wizards
two.
team
Yeah,
total under.
I was going to say the meeting they just had landed 234.
I,
So
I
if
I'll
that
just take a
factors in,
Wizards. I'll just
sure.
take a Wizards team total under. I told you all the defensive stats for Orlando in the past 5 games, and I think that this is going to be a little bit come down to earth for the Wizards. I think that they're honestly at one point probably going to be looking to just punt the game entirely, especially if they go down big early. So I think Wizards team total is the way to go for me.
I didn't even mention, by the way, Beal did play in that last game. However, he was a serious double agent because he went 4 for 15 from the floor. So keep that in mind, I guess. But the Wizards were somewhat at full strength the last meeting. Kuzma
That's the
still didn't
game.
play, but
That's the game that Bradley Beal slapped the head off the dude head for saying "fuck you." You just cost me $1,500 or something like that.
that was that game.
Yeah, it was that game.
Somebody in Orlando had $1,300 on Beal over.
I don't
That
know
doesn't
if it was
sound
a
right.
parlay. I don't know if it was a parlay or what it was, but it was definitely that game in Orlando. And he
I
said,
thought it
"Fuck."
might have been the Nuggets game or the Spurs game because that
Nah,
was
it
a
was a
home
hundred
game.
percent. It was 100% the game in Orlando, and he said,
Really?
"Fuck you." He said, "Fuck you." You cost me like $1,500, and Bradley Beal slapped the head off his head, and now he's being investigated by the police.
For assault via hat slap or
Yeah,
whatever.
or bitching, I would call it.
That's a fair term.
All right, next game on the slate, we have the Toronto Raptors on the road to go play the Philadelphia 76ers. Toronto opened up as a plus 6.5 point road dog, now to plus 5.5. 224.5 is the total. That's come up 4 points from open. Let's see here. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Raptors, Gary Trent Jr., Will Barton, Delano Banton, Joe Wisekamp are questionable. And nothing for the 76ers. Expect a full supporting cast for the 76ers. For the underdog, regardless if it is the Raptors or the 76ers, and I think it's actually been the Raptors more than not. The underdog has covered 4 of the last 5. What are you doing here?
Well, when you say 4 or 5, is that regular season meetings that
Regular
include the
season.
playoffs? Okay.
Regular season.
I'm going to take Toronto in this one. I understand that the Sixers did win their last game against Dallas. However, I did not think they looked particularly good in that game. It looked like they did the bare minimum to come back and win because Dallas scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. But I wasn't overly impressed by how Philly looked. Toronto's given Philly some problems over the years. Philly, I think, has won the majority, but the games have been somewhat competitive. I think that this line's a little bit high. And there's one prop that I love, except there's no lines on any Philly props yet. But we said that when Harden comes back, whenever he's going to come back, we're going to take his unders for points. And we saw him against Dallas come back. He scored 15 points, 4 for 14 from the floor. He can't move. And I said that was going to be a problem because he has an Achilles injury and that's not going to heal quickly. And Harden, we've seen whether it's the playoffs or in late season situations when he's been coping with some leg injuries, his stats fall off a cliff. And he played 38 minutes at 15 points. He did have 12 assists, so the assists I would still be tempted by. But I feel like Harden, with his inability to actually move laterally as well as he could previously, that means defensively he's going to have some problems. Offensively, he's going to kill the pace because he can't run anymore. And he's also going to struggle with his shot because he might not be able to get much lift on his jumpers. I like the under in this game. I like Toronto, and I like Harden under for points. Assists, I still would lean to the over. But, I mean, we were waiting for it. And Harden came back and he scored 15 points. So I'm going to stick with what we expected to have happen when Harden returned, which is a lot of really slow-paced basketball. Give me unders, and I'm going to lean to Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with the trend in this one. I'm taking the dog as well. I can truly see a game where they just kind of let Toronto hang around in this game. Probably actually have to fight back for their lives to go and get a win. I
Toronto
wouldn't be
should push
surprised
the
for that.
pace in this game. They should. I'm not sure if they're going to, but you should really just make Harden run up and down the floor the entire game. And Embiid.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me see. James Harden's at 19.5 tonight. I just can't see a world he gets to 20.
He needs a bunch of free throws if he's going
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, I cannot see him getting to 20. I really don't have anything else. I kind of already had in my mind that I like Toronto catching the points against 76ers. And in just the fact that I'm sure Joel Embiid is going to have a good game. I'm not sure about everything else. I think Harden is going to literally sabotage this team. We've already said that we're fading them with Harden in the lineup. And I truly, I'm just curious. Like, how is this even gonna go? Like, how is this gonna go when? Because even if you slow the pace down, the Raptors play really good out the half court. So
I'm just saying,
you're really
as
screwing yourself. You just got to feed
yeah,
Embiid and just hope Embiid scores 80.
you're hoping Embiid carries you, but I also think this total's way too high because the last meeting they had ended up landing 205 after overtime. It landed 205. The meeting before that landed 202. So the last two meetings were rock fights, and now Harden can barely move, and they're not going to run. They're not going to try to go up tempo because of it. So I like the under in this game. This total feels way too high.
Raptors are 5-0 to the under in their last 5 games. 40, not 49ers. Wrong numbers. 76ers are 4-1 to the under in their last 5. So
Did you
I
watch
haven't.
any of that Mavericks game that was on ESPN against the Sixers?
Yeah, I caught the first half. That was it.
Harden looked really bad, didn't he?
Yeah, I wasn't like I wasn't surprised. I mean, I had the under, so I was happy. I was like, yeah, there he
I was
goes.
getting
He's just
flashbacks to the playoff series against Miami last year. Like it was bad.
yeah, no, and I mean, unfortunately, they feel like they need him. They really don't. So
I said before, I think they're better off without him at this stage in Harden's health. I know when Harden's healthy, he's an incredible playmaker. He'll be a member of an All NBA team, probably a second or third team. But based on current form, if he's going to play at 40% health, they're better without him.
I think that how many games back are they from Boston? Is it 2, 3, something like
Right
that?
now, Philly is 2.5 back.
So they have a game next
They have a
game.
game in hand.
This is also a look at his spot for them, but because they really need that. Like if they win that, then they can realistically say to themselves, Mike can snag this 2 seed and have home court in case of a matchup against Boston. And that's my only motivation for Philly going forward, is trying to get home court from Boston so that at the very least, if it goes to a game 7, you're at the crib. But
I'm just going to throw it out there for playoff purposes. Based on how bad Miami's been lately, I'm going to assume the Nets get the 6th seed. I've roasted this Nets team with the current roster because they have a hard time scoring. And even though I am a fan, if Harden's going to look like this for the rest of the season, I actually think the Nets have a shot to beat them. Like, that's how low I am on Philly right now. And you said a look-ahead spot. For reference, they play at Milwaukee on Sunday and at home against Boston on Tuesday. So this could be a serious look-ahead spot.
yeah, I think so. We're on the Raptors. All right. Any other props from this game or the Magic game? Because we really didn't talk about either. So any props you got?
But we mentioned the under on Harden points at 19.5. I would probably still consider the over for assists. I know that it was brought up turnovers because Harden's been a turnover machine against the Raptors in the past. I don't mind that either. If you want to just go based on how Toronto usually plays them tough. I'm trying to think of who I want to pivot to on Toronto. Siakam? Am I automatically pivoting to Siakam because I don't trust Van Vliet, and Siakam has kind of given Philly some problems because he's a tweener power forward who could run the floor. He's kind of a jack of all trades. I can see Siakam having a nice 24, 7, and 5 type game, you know?
I really, really want to take Fred VanVleet.
I know, but I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I know. It's just I mean, maybe if Gary Trent played, but who is James? I'm just gonna lie bet whoever James Harden is guarding.
Well, I was going to
Like
say, if people are
whoever
tempted to
he's,
take Harden turnovers, does that mean that you're pivoting to Anunoby steals if you want to go for a defensive prop?
I would wait for Trent. Gary Trent is really, really active with his hands.
Yeah.
And so if Trent plays, I would wait for Trent and take Trent steals because you're probably getting a way better price on him, seeing how he's probably coming off the bench. Let's see. Jakoperto double-double.
I don't think he's going to score enough. The thing is, Embiid gave up 17 and 13 to Bismack Biyombo, so anything's possible. But Pirtle doesn't really look at the rim.
I mean, his rebounds is at 8.5. Like, I'm cool with just that, honestly.
I'm concerned about foul trouble because Embiid's going to be foul hunting the entire game. But I still think I'd like the over on rebounds for Pirtle. But I don't think I can take double-double because he's rarely looking at the hoop.
If you don't take Jakoperto, I feel like you got to be on Siakam then. Somebody's going to rebound.
I mentioned Siakam, so I think Siakam's in line to have a pretty good game.
I see plus 250. Yeah, plus 250. I wonder what Siakam triple-double is.
Siakam
24-1.
Okay.
I don't think
he's going to get there, but I think if you want to try to limit that and go maybe 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and do a parlay like that, maybe he gets close, but I don't think he gets there.
I can see him filling up a stat sheet. What's his points, rebounds, and assists today? 33.5.
That
minus 125. Yeah.
Because I said I could see him scoring 24, 25 points. I think he's capable of getting 9 rebounds and assists combined.
Yeah. I like that. Siakam 33.5. All right.
But we see eye to eye here, right? It's Toronto in the under and Harden under.
Yeah. I'm concerned on why this gone up 4 points, but I really don't care. I don't think I'm taking it over between these two.
It's because Philly's healthy, even though they haven't fully accounted that Harden is playing, but he might be a detriment at this point.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we kind of touched on it a little bit, the props of the last game, but I think nobody's stopping Banchero. I think that the bigs for Orlando are going to feast on the boards today. Like, Wendell Carter is going to feast on the boards today.
I like Porzingis over for that game, just to go back. Porzingis, I think he'll have a good game from 3.
I like his 3. Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think his threes and him trying to pull some of them bigs out is threes at 2.5 plus 104. Yeah, I'll definitely go. It's funny how we just watched. I've been betting his threes for a while, and it's been at 1.5 for a good majority of the season.
I'll also go
And
back to Avdia rebounds.
Abdi rebounds. Okay. All right. Next game on the slate. So let's see here. I'm working off of just the computer today. So the Chicago Bulls are on the road going to play the Charlotte Hornets. This line opened up at 6.5 for the Bulls. It is now sitting at -10. Wow.
Isn't it kind of funny that the Hornets were so bad all year, and now they're one of our favorite teams solely because of the last like 2-3 games?
Yep, very much so. And in the injury report in this game, we have Alex Caruso is questionable. Andre Drummond is questionable. I think he's expected to play though. Javante Green is questionable. And for the Charlotte Hornets, Terry Rozier is out. Gordon Hayward is doubtful. Oh, that's it. That's
Mhm.
why. Yeah, that's why. Kelly Oubre is questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable. That's why. That I was wondering why the line moved this crazy. It was Gordon Hayward. Dang.
Even though
Do
Hayward
we
hasn't
dare?
played the last couple games anyway.
Yeah, but oh man.
They won without him.
They
Beat Oklahoma
did.
City and he didn't play.
I can't lay 10 with Chicago. There's no way. You're not getting
It's
it from
for the
me.
ride at this point. I'm treating the Hornets like St. Peter's last year. Just blindly take the money line and hope for the best. We're gonna see how
Yeah.
far this train goes.
Yeah, there's no way I'm laying 10. There's no way I'm laying
10 I
10 with the
can't do.
Bulls. I don't care. I don't care if they win by 20. You could tell me that they'll probably win by 20. I'm not going to. Well,
It's
no, I
also
probably will
not
still do
just
it.
10. It's 10 on the road with Chicago. This team hasn't been a good road team in years. Like the Hornets aren't a good team on paper, but for whatever reason, things have been pretty good for
Yeah.
them lately. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Hornets plus the points. I think Hornets money line at plus 360. Truth is, even if you lose this, you cash the other 3 underdog bets and you're up a ton of units anyway.
Yep.
I can afford to sacrifice a unit on the Hornets money line here because I'm up like 15 units on the last 3 games combined. So yeah, I think that the Hornets are worth a look here. I'm not laying 10 with Chicago on the road. I can't do that.
Yeah. Super easy handicap there. Total sitting at what? I lost it. 224. Charlotte's been
I'm
playing
not even sure, to be honest. I think I'd
defensively.
lean over, but I don't know.
Bulls have been solid defensively over the past few games, and pretty up and down, but better with the addition of Patrick Beverly.
All 3 meetings this season went under, but those were a while ago, and these rosters aren't the same as they were before. Mostly for Charlotte because half their team's injured now, or injured with quotes, and they're just resting guys.
I'll take the under. It's a double digit spread. I'll take the under.
You know what? Yeah, I think you actually convinced me there. I'm going to go with the under as well. Looking at the head-to-head meetings, they got Beverly, who's still a good perimeter defender. But it's mostly the fact that if I think the Hornets are going to cover, then I think that they'll probably be able to limit Chicago offensively, which was your
Yeah.
point. So I think I'll lean under there. I'm going to treat it like the Rockets game against the Nets that we had a couple days ago, where
Mm-hmm.
I said it was correlated. And I said if the Rockets cover, the game's probably going to be an ugly game. And it was. And Houston covered the spread. I think it's the same story here. I'll lean the under, but Charlotte plus 10 would probably be my main play if I had to play something from this game.
All right. Let's see here on the prop wheel. We have who's gonna secure the win for us. Is it PJ?
PJ would be the main choice. The problem is his prop going to be too inflated after last game? Because
It's
his
19 and a
points
half.
prop went up a couple after
It's not,
after
yep.
that 43 point game.
It's 19 and a half. I don't see Oubre yet. Oubre can be very, very streaky.
I'm not sure if Oubre is even going to play because he ended up not playing in the last game.
Mark Williams versus Vucevic. I mean, Vucevic doesn't try.
So who's the center that's out for this game? Because they've been rotating 3 centers. I'm assuming that you're going to not see probably Richards, if I had to guess.
Yeah. They don't have that listed either because nobody knows what this lineup is going to be. We're
I'm just
probably not
saying
going to get
Williams
this.
is playing, which means that Kai Jones or Richards are not playing. I don't know which one, but one of them's not going to play.
I would assume. Well, I don't know because Kai Jones been playing pretty well too.
He's been playing okay, but I
Yeah,
think
let's just take the centers. Let's just take the centers. It's the centers.
that works. Trying to think of anything else I like. Beverly Steals, I got to be tempted by. I mean,
I,
you on
I
blocks for Beverly?
I think I'm tempted by something Dennis Smith Jr. I just don't know what. I'm
I'm not
trying
sure
to.
if he's going to play.
Yeah, but if he does, the pick and roll with him, Mark Williams slash Kai Jones slash Nick Richards, is gonna be going all day.
I'm just going to bring up Beverly Steals. It's around minus 150, which isn't fun, but Charlotte's backcourt, I should say. If Smith doesn't play, yes, I know they beat the Thunder, but you're giving Maladon serious minutes. You got Mikhailuk bringing up the ball. Their point guards aren't exactly good. Let's put it that way. It's not surprising because it's basically a 4th string point guard who's starting at this point. I
Can I
think
tempt
Beverly is going to try
you?
to hound the ball.
Can I tempt you instead of doing that? Because we
Steals
know
and
Pat.
blocks.
Yep, because we know he gets a block. Over 1.5 is plus 100.
That I don't mind. I can really see Beverly putting kind of an imprint on this game, at least for part of it, just by on-ball pressure on these questionable point guards that Charlotte has. Him and Caruso maybe might end up being able to really have a lot of good opportunities defensively to pick up some stats because I've seen Maladon play. I don't think he's an NBA player. But I am just going to lean to the Hornets, the under, and I'll look at some Beverly defensive prop. And of
Yeah, I
course
like
the
that.
centers for Charlotte
Steals.
and go for rebounds.
I like that steals and blocks over one and a
Yeah.
half at plus
It's
100.
even money. So
Yeah, I think that's worth it. All right, let's keep it going. Next, well, what are we at? Oh, we can get one more.
we got
All
time
right,
for one or two more.
next game on the slate we have. Oh, that's great. This should be quick. The Utah Jazz are traveling to Boston, play the Boston Celtics. Celtics are laying 13.5 right now. 232 is the totals. That's come down 2.5 points from 234.5. Injury report here. Not going to see much for the Celtics as they played last night, but I think only Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown played 30 minutes. Everybody else didn't play 30 minutes. And they have Robert Williams and Al Horford listed as injury management, though, so there is a possibility you don't see them. For the Jazz, looks like Laurie is out, Jordan Clarkson is out, Rudy Gay is out, Kelly Olynyk is questionable.
It's okay though. They have Taylor Horton Tucker.
I know. 41 on
40 piece?
15 for 25.
Yeah.
41 on 15 for 25. And Chris Dunn had a pretty solid game off the bench as well. I mean, I'm not changing the trend now because I mean, come on. They overlooked the Wizards before the Bucks game. Then they played the Bucks and absolutely destroyed the Bucks. And now they have the Jazz before they play the 76ers. Like what?
I'm not laying 13 with Boston here. I like the over, especially with Robert Williams not in the lineup. I think that it's kind of the opposite with Utah.
Oh, Kelly Olynyk is the if he's gonna play and he's gonna be the play. 100%.
I think he'll be the play too if he does suit up. But the point is, it's usually the combo of if you like the underdog, take the under because you're gonna hope for less points and the underdog can keep it close. For Utah, I think if they're going to cover, the game's just going over because they can't guard anybody and nothing's going to change there. But Robert Williams and Horford potentially not playing means Boston's paint defense is going to be non-existent, especially with how good of a rim protector Robert Williams is. So I like the over in this game. I see a lot of points. I will lean Utah. 13.5 is a lot of points for a team with travel off a nice win against its arch rival up to this point. And now they have a game out of conference, which has another division game, a division game up next, which should be very competitive, or at least very important for the standings. I'm with you on the look ahead spot here for Boston, and I think Utah is good enough to keep this game close. I hate their defense with a passion, though, so I'm going to take the over, but I'll lean to Utah.
I think the real big thing, like for the Celtics, is that they're going like if Utah is smart and if Utah plays how they should, they're going to dominate the boards today. Like absolutely a not complete annihilation on the boards today.
Oh, we're going with
I
Kessler rebounds, right?
no, I'm trying to figure out like I want to find a Kessler 20 plus rebounds prop.
Okay, so you want the
If
alt one.
Kessler had 20 and 20 tonight, would anybody truly be surprised?
20 might be a bit much, but I can definitely see him getting to like 16.
He
I'm
can
gonna
like
see if I can find it.
this is a marquee game where you go and you drop like a 20 and 20 game. Like, come on, like
Who's
I'm
guarding
all
him?
over
Luke
Walker
Cornett?
Kessler. Yeah, like maybe, or you get Al Horford coming off a back to back.
And you said Horford might not play.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, even if he does, but if he does, like you're getting Al Horford on the back. I'm almost positive Robert Williams isn't playing a back to back. But
Yeah, he's
like
not going to
you're
play.
getting Horford on a back to back. I feel comfortable with that. I probably prefer that. Like, come on, Olynyk. It's in the bigs today. Olynyk from 3. Walker Kessler on the boards probably cleans up the offensive glass a good amount of times. Gets some easy putback dunks. His rebounds is at 10.5. That's a really easy play for me here tonight. His points prop is at 12.5. I think he even eclipses that. I'm probably going to ladder his points prop, honestly.
Okay, so to answer your question, by the way, if you want to take Edwards, the highest number it goes to is 18 rebounds. You can get 18 rebounds at 30 to 1.
30 to 1? Yes.
I see 30 to 1.
I'll take it.
If you want to play it safe, you can get 16 plus rebounds at around 10 to 1.
Yeah, like I'll take it. How does he not dominate on the boards today? Like, come on. I understand that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are very good, capable rebounders, but like this man literally prioritizes his game on getting rebounds, and I'm almost positive that they all agree that hey, this is the way we have to win this game. And oh, ding ding ding, who is the coach of the Utah Jazz? Hardy,
former assistant of the Celtics.
Like, come on, man. Utah plus 13.5. Utah on the money line.
By the way, JR, if you found 20 rebounds at plus 1050, you need a new book because I found 18 plus rebounds at 30 to 1. So,
yeah. I'm having a play on Kessler today. I think we hit everything in this game. Anything else?
No, I was going to say, if you want to play it safe, you can get Kessler 11 plus rebounds at minus 113. If you don't want to go for the full ladder or you don't want to take a Hail Mary shot.
All right. Let's see here. Next game on the slate. Oh, well, no, we're not going to talk next game because we're going to go ahead and split here for part 2 because our time is going a little bit long. So, YouTube, you know what to do. Podcast version, you know what to do. I'm not going to say it again. I'm going over to part 2. And we are back with part 2 of the NBA Gambling Podcast on a Friday edition. I just told you to hammer Walker Kessler today. I'm more than likely going to be doing that. Next game on the slate, we have the Atlanta Hawks going to play the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Hawks are a minus 1.5 point favorite on the road. Total is set at 240.5. Injury report for these two teams and for the Atlanta Hawks. DeAndre Hunter is questionable with the knee injury. Jalen Johnson is questionable with that hamstring groin. And it looks like Day'Ron Sharp is probable with an ankle. So why is Atlanta favored here?
Because I guess on paper they're the more talented team. Question mark? Maybe.
I'm confused.
If you wanted my guess, I'm assuming it's because they think Atlanta's the more talented team on paper. Having said that, Atlanta's not good on the road. They never are. They're 16-22. The Nets have not been good at home. I believe they're 1-5 straight up in the last 6 home games. But the Nets are 2-1 this season. Each game has been decided by less than 5 points. So I'm really just expecting a war in this game. The last meeting landed 256. So I guess if you want to lean to the over, you have the recent matchup in the end of February as your main baseline there. But I guess I'm going to lean to the Nets because I don't want to lay points with Atlanta on the road, but I could really see this game going either way. I think that the spread should be within 2 points. I think the wrong team might be favored, but I think it should be within 2-3 points. So I see a close game, I see a nail biter, but I think I'm going to lean to the Nets. I'm not going to bet this game. This game really does have a coin flip feel to it, so I think that there's not much value on the side. I would lean to the over because Atlanta really still doesn't guard anybody, and I think you'll see points in this game. But I'm going to lean to the Nets. I don't feel great about it, though.
I'm not laying points with Atlanta on the road. I'm good. Give me the Nets plus 1.5. Like, that's enough. That's enough for me. Last time I laid points with Atlanta on the road, I ate shit. I'm pretty sure that was the game against Charlotte where they lost outright. I ate shit on that. So
last time they were on the road, they played Minnesota and they lost.
No, I'm talking about the last time I laid points with Atlanta on the road.
No, I was just saying I don't know how long ago that was, but the last road game was Minnesota, and they didn't cover that game either.
They covered that Minnesota game because I was on them.
They were underdogs in that game.
Yeah. They were underdogs in that game.
I know Cat came back. I didn't think that Minnesota would have been favored at home.
Yeah, we were on Atlanta because I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh,
that's right. We gave him out as our dog on the money line."
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, they lost at the end of the game.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're not trusting Atlanta to get wins on the road. All right, I kind of lean to the under because I like the Nets.
I think it's going to be really close. I'm really concerned about either free throws at the end of the game or even maybe an overtime draw. I think this game could go to overtime. I see a really close game, so I don't know how I feel about it. You're hoping for one bad quarter, which we mentioned a lot, and the Nets late in games offensively have really not been great. Same with Atlanta, to be honest. They really haven't been a great fourth quarter offense either this season.
I really kind of trust this game to slow down in the second half.
That's what I was going to say, though. I'm not sure if I would want to take an under now or hope for an up-tempo first half, which I think we're going to get, and then
this
a live bet an
under
when it's in the mid or high 240s.
This is a meaningful game for both teams, too. Like this,
I was going to say, though, I think I'd rather take an in-play under when the first half goes nuts.
This feels like a play-in game, defensive playoff game type of insist. Yeah, I like the under 240.5. Okay. All right. Nick Claxton got there for us last time out.
He did. It was a good matchup.
It was.
It's a lot worse of a matchup in this one.
It is. But he's got to be out there.
He's going to have to be out there, but the question is with points and rebounds, if he's going to have to battle Capella or even a Conklin.
No, I don't trust him on the points. I don't trust him on the points.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're looking at Claxton, I think it would just be blocks and rebounds.
Yeah, I'm good on. I don't trust him on the points in that aspect.
Trey assists, maybe. I mean, he hasn't been as good at assists recently, but he did have a double-double against the Cavs.
Yeah, but I took his assists and they were at 10.5. Dickhead.
Yeah, he's going under 10.5 in each of the last 4 games. He has had a double-double in each of the last 2, but he finished exactly 10. His shot has also been a bit underwhelming lately. He hasn't attempted many shots. He's attempted less than 17 shots in each of the last 4 games. Went 4 for 15 from the floor last game against Cleveland. I think I might be on DeJounte Murray points. Murray's been pretty solid the last couple games. I think that he might be a decent pivot for points.
When they dropped Bogdanovich, because they said he's starting, I think I want Bogdanovich threes.
Yeah, that I can get behind. And Bogdanovich tends to kill the Nets when they face off.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Bogdanovich to drop. I like his threes today. All right, I don't have anything else on this one. Before we get to the next game of the slate, let me talk to you about our presenting sponsor, and that is WinBet, who is now active in a whole bunch of different states, including Massachusetts, where they killed the book last night. Sure, a whole state of Massachusetts on Boston money line as an underdog in that one. And now you have big ways to bet March Madness. Sign up today and receive a special offer. Bet $100, get $100, limited state availability. And you also have our Degens only parlay of the week, where for $1,000 free credit if you hit the long shot parlay of the week. So much choose from. All you have to do is head over to winbet.com or download the WinBet app. Also, change terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And the Final Four watch party is this weekend to catch that Final Four action on Saturday with Sean, Kobe, and Ryan. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. And during that watch party, they will be giving out the SGP Masters Contest. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/golf party. If you haven't entered, you can win a 3-night stay at Circle Las Vegas with the guys and catch the Masters at Stadium Swim. Promo code SGP15 if you don't win the contest, so you can get a discounted room and still go hang out with the guys. All right. Moonoff said Trae Young drops 31 plus in the last 4 games against the Nets. I feel like he's like a little,
he always gets up for these games against the Nets, but I'm just pointing out his shot has been a little bit iffy lately, but I think he's going to have a good game because I think it's going to be a close game. So I think he's going to be able to show up. But I will point out that DeJounte has looked really good the last week or two.
All right. New York Knicks are on the road to go play Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs are laying 3.5 at home. Line opened up at -5 Cavs. Now it's down to -3.5 for. That's actually kind of interesting on how that went down. But for the New York total is at, what is the total at here?
Do we agree this is a preview of the first round?
Oh, 100%. So that's pretty much like, wow, why is this not refreshing? There we go. All right, total's at 221. Yeah, this is 100% first round preview. For the New York Knicks, you have Derrick Rose, who's questionable. Dwayne Washington Jr. I'm sorry, not Johnson. Dwayne Washington Jr. is out. And Julius Randle is going to be done for the rest of the year with that ankle injury. That was a really bad roll of the ankle. I hope he's there for the first round of playoffs. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jared Allen hasn't yet another injury. He's doubtful with the groin. Isaac Okoro is out. Danny Green is out in health and safety protocols. I just said that to be funny. Dean Wade is probable, which really helps with Jared Allen. And Raul Neto is questionable with the hamstring. So
we got to take the over on like every points prop for Knicks guards, don't we? The amount of shots that are now available with Randall being out, it's all going to Brunson quickly and maybe a little bit of Barrett, right?
I'm terrified of RJ Barrett taking more shots. I'm
just
terrified
saying,
of
I didn't
RJ.
say it was going to be good.
Like, I just feel saying. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's what kind of frustrates me with this game because I'm like, man, if those extra shots go to Barrett and Grimes, we're screwed. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're going to lose by like 15. But if the extra shots go to Jalen, I really just think just give all the extra shots to Jalen Brunson.
Like, I like Brunson over.
Like, I would play Brunson over anything else in this game.
And quickly, maybe if you can get numbers on quickly.
But
now it's going to be inflated, though.
Yeah, I prefer quickly when nobody's looking at him, honestly.
Yeah. But I like Brunson here. Randall he's leading the team in shot attempts, correct?
Yes.
So with him being out, somebody's going to have to shoot more. And Brunson's going to have the ball in his hands all the time now. Are we going to make pivots to Brunson double-doubles now because he's going to have the ball in his hands more? Is that a possibility?
Yeah. I can definitely buy that. 100%. Let's see if they adjusted that. It's normally at what, like 6-1?
Sometimes you can even get like 9-1 on Brunson double-double. I'm just curious because you have to think of what the team's plan is.
It's still at 8-1.
Okay. I mean, 8-1 for a guy that's going to have the ball in his hands more than usual.
Yeah.
Might be worth a flyer.
That's hasn't adjusted yet. I Because I don't trust Mitchell Robinson as a basketball player, I think that there's some value on RJ Barrett double at 17-1.
I was gonna actually bring that up, but I wasn't sure if I had the courage to bring it up. I saw 17 to
I
1. I was kind of tempted.
Yeah, I think that there's some very good value there. This is truly just the fate of Mitchell Robinson doing his job.
You
Like
hope he
this is
gets
it.
rebounds. That's it. You just want
Yeah.
Barrett to be in the right place occasionally. It's 17 to 1. Like
I
that.
mean,
That's
he
not
doesn't
terrible.
have issues rebounding basketball. Like he finds himself there a good portion of the time.
He'll get the
And with
points.
Randall out, he should have more opportunity.
He'll get the points because he shoots too much to not score 10. So rebounds, Allen might
17 to
not
1 is
play.
worth it. 17 to 1 is
I
worth
was
it.
gonna say Allen's doubtful, so Cleveland might be going smaller using Stevens at the 4. I don't mind at 17 to 1. There are a lot of worse bets you can make at 17 to 1.
I think that the only thing that would concern me, and it doesn't even look like they're doing it, but I don't know, is if they move Hart to the starting lineup. But why would you do that? You're way
They're gonna
too
stick with
small.
what's worked
That's
so
way too
far.
small. You
So
have to go top end. That you're way too small at that point.
that's also a boost for Barrett rebounds though, because since Barrett was usually the odd man out in that closing unit, I don't think you can get away with using. Can you use Brunson and Quickly together? Is that too small of a backcourt? Like,
No,
is
I think you
Barrett
can.
now in the?
No, I think you can get away with that.
You can. I
Yeah.
was just gonna ask. Is Barrett in the closing group now? I think he has to be, right?
No way. No
No, you
way.
don't think so? Even
No,
with
you
Randall
still.
being out,
No, you do. You go. No. Well.
saying Randall's
Nah.
out. You might have to use Barrett in the closing group now. My point is
Hart.
Barrett might get more minutes. That was my point.
Yeah,
Because
he
Hart's
is.
going to be there. I don't know if you can use Robinson in the closing group or Hartenstein. You might have to now because you don't exactly have a small ball center option. It's 17 to 1. Like there are worse bets you can make at 17 to 1. Maybe you'll have a flyer on that. Josh Hart, I don't see a prop available for his double-double. I maybe wouldn't mind that either. But I know Hart rebound-wise hasn't been as good lately, but I'll see what that price is. If Hart is north of 8 or 9 to 1, I'll probably take a flyer on the double-double too. But 17 to 1, I don't mind for Barrett.
So.
I'm happy you brought that
I
up because
guess this.
I wasn't sure if I was going to.
So I guess this means we love Evan Mobley double at plus 100.
Yeah.
And I love Evan Mobley to clear his points prop yet again at 17.5.
Him and
That's at
Garland are
plus.
such an underrated pick and roll duo.
Yes. Like
They're
that's
so good together.
I think that's like unfair. Like it's
It
like an
is.
unfair pick and roll.
Garland's one of the
Like,
best
how do
pick
you
and roll
guard
point
that?
guards in the league because he also has Jared Allen, who he's very good with pick and rolls with. But if you watch Mobley play with Garland, they have so much chemistry together. It's incredible to watch.
Yes, they're really, really good. Mobley clears 17.5 is plus 120 at a book. Like he clears 17.5. He's probably in. All right, Scott, we talked about props. Who do we like for the game?
Oh boy, I think I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to lean
fade the
to.
Knicks. I'm
I'm
telling
going
you,
to
I'm
lean
fading the
Cleveland.
Knicks.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Cleveland. You can make an argument it's a get up spot. Maybe a bit of Ewing theory involved where a team gets up without its best player and you hope they can show something. I think Cleveland is such a horrible matchup for the Knicks with an injury to Randall because
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland thrives in the paint, both
Mm-hmm.
offensively and defensively. If you want to give Mitchell Robinson or Hartenstein more minutes, good luck to you. But Randall's a big, big piece of the Knicks team, obviously, and they need him for the playoffs. But the point is, I'm going to lean Cleveland. They're a great home team. They still have Mitchell. They still have Garland. Mobley, I think, is going to tear this team to pieces. The Knicks have been using the same exact style all season long, even for a couple of years with Thibodeau, which involves a lot of Randall isolation offense. And you could argue that sometimes it's inefficient and sometimes it doesn't work too well. But now the Knicks kind of have to reinvent almost everything they do normally. I would not be surprised to see some growing pains with them missing Randall for the foreseeable future. I'm leaning Cleveland at home.
All right. Total 221.
Well, do you want to make your case, or you just agree with what I
No,
said and want to
no,
just move on?
no, I kind of already had in my mind. I was just gonna fade the Knicks.
I said I don't know if you wanted to add another bullet point as to why you're fading the Knicks or not.
Oh no, no, I just am very pessimistic about my team. Not gonna lie, it's all pessimism here.
So what's this? What's the projected schedule though? When is the playoff? When do the playoffs officially start?
April 20 something, I believe.
Okay, so based on
Because you have the season ends on April 9th, I believe it
first round
is.
starts April 15th.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. Because you
So
got the
that's really cutting it close to Randall returning for the playoff for the start of
he's
the
on a
playoffs.
2 week
Okay.
timetable, so he's
I'm
not
saying
even
2
getting
weeks has him available like a day or two before in theory if he doesn't have a setback.
Yeah, no, it's like yeah, yeah. And that's just to be reevaluated. That's not saying he plays.
That's
So.
what I'm saying. So he might miss a game or two. So either way, I just wanted to
But
keep an eye on that.
what I will do is I will let, especially if he's out, maybe like the first game or two of the series, I'll come
Live
back and
bet
get
the
the
series.
oh yeah, get the Knicks at like a huge crazy number and just watch. And I mean, but I think yeah,
I don't think
this
anything will
game is
top.
gonna be very
Yeah,
telling. This game is gonna be very telling.
I don't
And
think anything will top the live betting series from Jalen Brunson in particular last year against
oh,
Utah.
we 5-1. 5 to
Yeah,
1. It was
mm.
so easy. It was the easiest 5-1 bet we ever got. It was the easiest 5-1. Who they were already dogs to start the series, and then they lose game one like we said they would. And they thought
And
we
game one
weren't
was
gonna come
close.
back. And they thought we weren't gonna come back and bet 5-1 for the series. That is just that's in the NBA Gambling Podcast Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
It
I think it
is.
has to be. But yeah, I don't mind that play. But I do think that against Cleveland for this game, it's not a good situation for the Knicks. So I'm going to lean to Cleveland.
All right. Clippers on the road playing the Grizzlies yet again. This time the line is opened up at 6.5, now down to 5.
Shout out to
Total
Westbrook.
236.5. Yeah.
He
And
was so damn good last game.
appreciate him for cashing that Clippers bet for me.
What do you have? 5 3-pointers?
5 for 5.
Incredible.
It might actually do more harm than good in the future.
Oh, he's chucking them. But for the sake of last game, good for him.
Yeah, it might do some harm, but more harm than good. But yeah, Kawhi, personal reasons, is questionable. Marcus Morris is out because of health and safety protocols. I feel like I made a joke about somebody being in health and safety protocols, and now everybody's in health and safety protocols. And Brandon Boston is out as well. You know, Paul George is done for the rest of the year. For Grizzlies, they called in the reinforcements. Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyus Jones, John Conchar, Vince Williams, all not on the injury report. Yet so I never get this because you say not on the injury report, but I'm reading the injury report and they're on the injury report saying they're not on the injury report. Vince Williams, I mean not Vince Williams, Zaire Williams, Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, are all on IR.
I think I'm going to have to lean to the Clippers. I know that usually in back-to-back situations, we tend to assume a split between these teams. It's usually how we assume it breaks up.
But it's different when you think one team doesn't care anymore.
It's also the Clippers completely acknowledging finally that Marcus Morris isn't good at basketball anymore. And they've completely just shifted around their entire lineups. And once they realized that Marcus Morris is a liability and they made the switch, they've been good.
Mm-hmm.
They've matched up pretty well against the Grizzlies.
I mean,
I
they
love
have
the
the
over
bigs.
in this game.
They have the bigs. They can dominate the rebounding with Plumlee and Zubac.
Yeah. For the record, I love the over in this game because the only two meetings of the season have broken 260 in each of them. They just played and broke 270. Now, the argument is Brooks did not play last game, correct?
No, he did because he had 20.
Okay,
I remember. Yeah, he was really efficient last game. He did.
I was just wondering for defensive purposes. So the Clippers, even with the Grizzlies being at full strength defensively, they still scored 141 points. Kawhi might play, he might not. I like the over in this game, but they told Morris to fuck off. They started giving Covington more minutes. Covington went 9 for 10, and he was like a DMP for about 2 months. I still like Covington. But yeah, I think I'm on the Clippers here. I feel like they have a solid amount of depth. I think they match up pretty well against Memphis. I think Memphis is going to bring it. Like, I think it's going to be a good game. But I do think the Clippers have some decent matchups against this team. So I like the over, and I'm going to lean to the Clippers.
Yeah, I don't think it's just a route. I don't think it's a route by the 5, 6. It was at 6.5. 5. It tells me it was a route.
Bane and Triple J both didn't play, which is why the line was fluctuating back and forth.
It went when they announced Bane, Triple J, and it was like somebody else out, and it went from, what did we say? It was -4. It went from -4 all the way to -3.5, and then Kawhi was out, and it went back to -2 for.
It kept bouncing back and forth. But
yeah,
I care more about the Triple J absence from that game because they gave up 140 plus points. Bane's a great scorer.
Oh, Russell Westbrook's he's not getting past Triple J this game.
Well, I was just going to say, Brooks had a miracle game where he was actually efficient and he scored 30. So the Bane absence, I feel like Brooks had himself a legacy game, kind of, and that kind of canceled out. Triple J being out was the bigger deal because defensively he'll bring a lot of rim protection. But I am still going to lean Clippers. I just think they match up pretty well against this team, and with Covington playing more minutes, once again, I can't believe it took Ty Lue this long to realize Marcus Morris can't play, but he finally made the switch, and now I actually don't mind the rotation.
And I think Kawhi goes crazy. I get the Kawhi game that I was looking for last time. Yeah, I'm on Clippers. Clippers +5. Clippers sprinkle on the money line.
I'm assuming you like the over as well.
What did we say it was at again?
36.5, I think.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm actually kind of hesitant, but I probably won't bet it. But yeah,
in the last two, once again, the two meetings broke 260. I'm not gonna take an under. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know. At some point, adjustments come into play, and that's what I'm afraid of. The adjustments come into play, and this is a more defensive game. All right, I
think it might be more defensive too. We're just gonna land 250.
Did we talk about? We didn't talk about props.
I'm on Zubac unders. They don't use him against Memphis.
Yeah, I like Plumlee. And did Plumlee get that double-double last time?
No, he did not. And he died at 3 rebounds. He played 22 minutes. Zubac played 23, so it was basically an even split. Zubac had 5 fouls in 23 minutes, had 10.7 rebounds. But Zubac really has a hard time getting on the floor against the Grizzlies. So I see Zubac struggling in this spot.
Yeah, I'll take Plumlee and Kawhi over 26.5. Yep, 25.5. Kawhi over 25.5. Okay, there we go. Now we're talking. And when Norman Powell drops, I'll take a Norman Powell game as well. What is Russ at?
So don't see Russ listed. They're afraid to list him.
I know, because they know I'm going to hammer the under. They know I'm going to hammer the under.
Can I bet the over 3-pointer attempts? Is that a prop available somewhere?
Oh, he's going to jack them.
Oh, he's chucking them.
Oh my gosh, he's 100%.
5 for 5 might result in the all-time worst heat check game of all time.
Oh, let's
It's so bad I had to say all time twice. It's that bad.
Let's take Xavier Tillman under 9.5.
Okay.
He actually had a game last game, and it's because everybody was out.
And Triple J is going to take a bunch of shots anyway.
And Dylan Brooks is going to take a bunch of shots because he dropped 20 on his team last time.
And Bane didn't play last game. So.
Yeah, he's not getting the usage. Let's go under on Tillman props.
I see 9.5 for Tillman points.
Yeah, let's go under. He's not getting the usage this time.
He also might not play that much.
Next game on the slate, we have the Detroit Pistons going to play the
I like Ja points at 27.5. I like the over.
Oh, yeah. So Detroit Pistons going to play the Houston Rockets. In Houston, line opened up at -4. Now currently sitting at -6.5 for the Rockets. 228.5 is the total injury report for these two teams, and we have Alec Burks, Rodney McGruder, both out. You know, all the longtime outs for the Pistons. And for the Rockets, KJ Martin's questionable. Deshaun Tate is out as always. And those are three G Leaguers. Rockets have better players.
I was going to
Rockets.
say, both teams are horrible, but the Rockets are the better team.
Yeah.
Do you ever
Rockets.
want to lay 6.5 with Houston here? Because Detroit's been competitive the last two games. They lost by 9 to Milwaukee. They should have beaten Oklahoma City. They gave up a free putback layup at the end. Houston, though, has been okay lately. They can actually score on a regular basis.
I think that's it. I think that's the. I think those were the two good games the Pistons were going to give us. I think Houston rolls.
I think Houston rolls too, personally. I don't know if I actually feel confident betting it because that involves betting on basically a tanking team against another tanking team. But I want to read off the point totals for the Pistons recently.
Mm-hmm.
These are the points scored for the Pistons over the last couple weeks. 106, 117, 97, 107, 100, 197. They can barely crack
was
100
107
half the time.
Was 107 the highest?
They scored 117 against Milwaukee.
Oh.
But that was the outlier by 10 points. Yes, 107 was the highest besides that 117 game. So they can barely crack 100 here.
Yeah, and mindful, I have no idea who is guarding Jalen. Like, if Jalen Green gets good looks at the basket,
Porter was really good.
Yeah, like but two of them, if you're telling me the two of them are gonna get good looks at the basket, I know the two of them are firing them off every time they can.
I'm also going to throw out there that they scored 117 against Milwaukee, but Giannis didn't play. So Milwaukee's defense was a lot worse than normal. Just going to throw that out there as a caveat. 117 is still impressive, but it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, I'm all over the Rockets here.
And the Rockets should win. They've actually looked competent for the last couple of weeks.
Rockets, give me overs on Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Do you want to make a flyer play on Porter Jr. triple-double?
Yeah.
He has them on occasion.
Yeah. I can buy it. I can buy it.
I don't know what to do for rebounds. I hate every
definitely double-double.
Bagley's dead to me after last game, so I'm not taking him double-double.
No, so I was, but last time I went Duran again. You pivoted to Bagley and Wiseman.
Duran would have gotten there if he wasn't in foul trouble.
I know. Yeah. Man, the musical roulette between those bigs is fun.
I hate it so much.
I don't care. I'm going 3 for 3. Give me Duran again.
Do I even see odds on a triple-double?
I think now, if he gets it for me now, I think I'm still in the green.
Okay. Just to compare prices.
So if I catch the 1 and 3, I think I'm still in the green.
Wiseman's plus 245. I don't see numbers on Duran yet. I'm just trying to see if I could find numbers on Duran quickly. Duran. No, I cannot find it.
Yeah.
However, triple-double. 29-1 on Porter Jr.
Yeah, why not?
You give me 29 games against another crappy team. I think he gets a triple-double in one of those games. Why not?
All right. Next game on the slate. Los Angeles Lakers going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are, some shops have actually moved this up to 1.5, but it's pretty consensus as 1 at 1. 232.5 is the total injury report for these two teams, and we have LeBron's questionable, Anthony Davis is probable, and for Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Kyle Anderson are all probable.
There was breaking news last night with the Timberwolves injury report at like 2 a.m., which sucks.
Torian Prince, Austin Rivers, Jalen Noel, and Matt Ryan all questionable. Naz Reid is on IR.
That was the news. Naz Reid ended up breaking his wrist, He'll be out for a while, probably the entire playoffs, and it sucks
That
because he's
9.5 was so free, man.
he's my favorite backup center in the league, and he would be good enough to start on like half the teams in the league. I think Naz Reid is
Unfortunately, I have to give my favorite backup center to Paul Reed, but Naz Reid is a close second.
Paul Reed maybe for player props and for spot starts, but just consistency.
Consistency is definitely Naz Reid for sure. But for the props and prop starts, yeah, for sure.
But there's also a piece of this game that we got to talk about, which the chat is very into, but we have to bring it up.
Oh, is it really? Oh, let's play a game. Let's play a game. All right, let's play. What ref is it? Scott, can you tell me what ref it is for the game? And I will tell you what their betting outlook looks for.
So there's only one ref that matters in this game. It's the guy with his own soap opera. It's going to be Scott Foster as the main ref for this game.
And Scott Foster this season is 36-17. 36-17 to the home team, 33-20 to the over because he calls a foul every blinking second. And guess what? 231.8 points per game. This is great.
I have to lean to the Lakers, don't I?
Oh no, absolutely not.
You don't think so? It's a weird balance. The trends go against each other, though. For
when is the last time the Lakers have beaten Minnesota?
But just hear me out here on this case, right? So Foster, you said, is very good to the home team. That is true. That favors Minnesota. However, you also said he calls fouls on everything. And the Lakers have like 2 times more free throws than any other team in the league. I just feel like it's a horrible spot for Minnesota, especially with Naz Reid now being out. They don't have many quality centers that I actually like. I know that they have Gobert and Towns.
Oh, you're getting is Luka
their front court depth is horrible.
What team is Luka Garza on? Is Luka Garza on the Timberwolves?
Yeah, he was on the Timberwolves. I'm not sure if he's in the G League at this point, but you have Garza.
Okay.
Don't roast Garza. He almost cashed you a money line bet earlier this year.
Yeah.
But still,
really still pissed at that game. I remember.
With Naz Reid being out, though, I need to wait to see if LeBron's going to play because I have concerns if Gobert or Towns get into foul trouble. I have serious problems with backing Minnesota. Unofficially, Cordy is telling me that the Lakers are 8-2 when Scott Foster is the ref. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to lean Lakers here. I think that Naz Reid injury is so massive, and with the amount of foul calls that Scott Foster calls, that's going to benefit the Lakers more than any other team because they attempt more free throws than any other team. I'm going to lean Lakers here. The Naz Reid injury was the cherry on top for me. I'll lean to the Lakers.
Okay. You have me not as... I didn't know Scott Foster was the ref until just now. So
just saying,
I am not as enthused. I am not as enthused on Minnesota. But honestly, truly, when is the last time the Lakers have beaten Minnesota?
I would have picked Minnesota if Naz Reid was healthy, but I think Naz Reid being out is that big of a deal for the bench unit.
And if that means more Rudy Gobert minutes, then
give me 80 and LeBron to combine for 25 free throws. I'll lean to the Lakers. And maybe Austin Reeves has 15 free throws again. Who knows? So give me a Scott Foster masterclass. I'll lean to the Lakers.
All right. You made a good point. You normally don't sway me, but you swayed me. All right. We'll go Lakers. If Timberwolves win, I'm going to be pissed, though.
Don't blame me for it. I'm just backing the team that attempts more free throws by a country mile than any other team, with Scott Foster, the whistle-happy ref, being in charge. I'll lean to the team that should have a massive advantage in free throws.
Any other props that you have? Oh, well, total. I mean, we're going over. That's pretty obvious. I think that's obvious.
Are you on the D'Angelo revenge game?
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I know that D'Angelo didn't come through for you last time they played, but last time he played, but it's a pretty good spot for him here.
No, it is. It is. I just think they're going to cook Rudy Gobert. We got, yeah.
Oh, last time AD played Gobert, he put him in the rim. AD always kills Gobert.
I know. Hey, Rudy Gobert's getting cooked today.
Yeah.
And he's playing more minutes because they don't have anybody else. They're probably gonna at some point they're gonna stagger. They're gonna have to stagger Cat and Rudy Gobert at some point just because they're short on center depth.
Do you
So
pivot to like Towns rebounds and now that Reed's out and just hope Towns plays 40 minutes?
yeah, 7.5, and just say that. Like I said, they're gonna pivot at some point and stagger. They're gonna have to stagger the 2 minutes, or uh, who's coming off the bench for the Lakers? That's gonna rebound. Yikes.
They don't have many options. Wayne
Hachimura,
Gabriel?
maybe. Yeah, when Gabriel. Hachimura. Yikes. Either way, I still like Towns at 7.5. I think that's short. He can get to 8. Anthony Edwards' assist has been pretty decent recently.
Yeah. Offensively, he was kind of horrible. He was going through a bad stretch, but then he had a great game against Phoenix at 30-plus points.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm looking at Conley under for assists. He was a very good facilitator earlier in the year, but as the lineup changed and we saw people get back from injury and Kyle Anderson took on a bigger role and Edwards came back, you really have not seen many great assist games by Conley lately. And to read off the
5.5 is
assist games,
short.
he's had less than 5 in each of the last 3 games. He really has not done much. I'd probably look for an under on Conley in general because I also don't think he's that good at this stage in his career. But yeah, I'm not sold on Conley. I think he's washed, but that's a separate story.
Yeah. All right. Before we continue on, we got 3 more games to go. Luckily, a couple of these games are really easy. We can just speed past through those. But before we do that, I gotta talk to you about sword vitality, because after you clean up yourself, and she comes by the crib, she says, "Hey, I'm pulling up later." You cleaned yourself up, but now you gotta get going, and it's okay. You don't have to be ashamed. 40% of men are affected by this impotence by the age of 40, and nearly 70% by 70. Oh my gosh. Look, don't go to the gas station and buy the Rhino pill,
Wait,
or
so nearly 70%, so it's 69%?
69.
Sorry, that was my interruption. You can continue.
So, Rhino pills, don't do it. Don't be like Morbius and just they offer you the 2 pills saying that one of them is going to get you and trust sword vitality to increase the blood flow in the ways that you need. And again, if you're a minute man, can increase your stamina, and maybe you can be a 2-minute man. Maybe you can be a 5-minute man, a 10-minute man. You can get her to where she needs to go, gentlemen. Remember, her needs come first. Get her where she needs to go with the blood flow that keeps it going in sword vitality. Unsheath your sword. Visit swordvitality.com. Use promo code SGPN for a nice discount at checkout. And that's swordvitality.com, promo code SGPN. Man, I hope they come back next week. It's going to get better and better each time I read the read. All right. 3 games left. Let's go ahead and knock them out. Next game on the schedule, the San Antonio Spurs are going to play the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are laying 18. It's opened up at 15.5. It's all the way up to 18. Everybody's betting the Warriors. Total is sitting at what? Total's at 242. Keldon Johnson is not on the injury report.
I see him as a game time decision.
Okay. Devin Vassell's questionable. Zach Collins is out. Jeremy Sohan is out.
You never know with San Antonio with Vassell and Johnson because I'm not sure if they're actually injured or San Antonio doesn't care.
It's a mix of both. It says injury management, which is insane.
Yeah,
but
so
okay.
Whatever.
Doug McDermott is probable. Romeo Langford is questionable for the Golden State Warriors. No Andrew Wiggins. That's pretty much clean other than that. Yes, we did cash Branham plus 340 on the 20 plus points. He had
What do
me
you did
nervous for a
21,
little
right?
bit. Yeah, he had me nervous for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. He had me nervous in the first half. But then he started in the first quarter, he was good. Second quarter, he kind of chilled off. And then he of course, garbage time and all that. He ended up cooking. We got the 20. It was really, really great. So yeah, if they're out again, I'm on Branham again. That's really easy for me. I'm hesitant to say that I'd be on Branham even if they are in, but depending on what this injury report is later, I'll probably be on Branham again. I mean, I don't know.
So, for the record, you said everyone was sprinting to bet on Golden State.
They were. It's like
I
some
was one
80% of
of
money
those
on Golden
people.
State.
I was one of those people. I bet Golden State last night minus 15 and a half at 3:30 in the morning. I bet on Golden State minus 15 and a half. Couple reasons why. I gave it out on YouTube, so I have a couple of stats already prepared. You mind if I read some of these off?
Oh, do your thing.
Okay. So to go through the last couple of games here, the Spurs have lost 5 straight. They've played 3 teams actually competing for something. They played against the Pelicans, they played against the Celtics, and played against the Bucks. They lost each of those 3 games by 35 plus points. To go through the last 5 games, the Warriors have a net rating of plus 6.6, which is 6th in the league. The Spurs in the last 5 games have a net rating of a negative 27.6, which is last in the NBA with 9 or more rating points of cushion. They're the worst team in the league by a mile and a half. They're borderline lapping the field. They've played twice this season. Was a while ago, but this is the 3rd meeting this season. Golden State won each of the first 2 meetings by 31 plus points. I took Golden State minus 15 and a half. I did.
I feel like I got to take Golden State because of what I'm about to do in the next game. So I'm just gonna go get a State.
I feel like we're gonna see eye to eye next game, and it's gonna.
Oh yeah,
be,
no. So like we're
yeah.
we're going
We're gonna
long
save
on
that
time.
for a couple minutes down the
Yeah.
road.
Well, so Golden State, yikes, 242.
They're at home too. Golden State's been good at home, no matter how inconsistent they might be. I've roasted the Warriors, but it's mostly because of their road struggles. They are still a very good home team. They won each of the first 2 meetings by 31 plus points. San Antonio's getting buried regularly. This game matters for Golden State because they're in the middle of a cutthroat Western Conference. I think Golden State wins this game by 30. I took them 15 and a half. It's at 18. I think they win north of 20.
Under.
I like the over.
Okay.
I don't think I can take an under because Golden State might actually score 140 points in this game. I don't think I can take an under.
I know. And I'm getting PTSD from last night and Boston scoring 140.
If you were going to take the under, I think you'd rather just take the Spurs team total under because Golden State should walk into like 125, 130 minimum in this game.
I agree. I like it. All right. Props.
You mentioned Branham. I'm not getting in the way there.
Yeah, that's dependent on one of Keldon Johnson or Devin Vassell sitting.
I have a really hard time with props in this game because I'm not sure how many minutes the starters for Golden State are actually going to play. Are you just blindly going to take like 3-pointers for Curry and Clay and maybe a Draymond triple-double sprinkled somewhere in there? Like, I don't know. I don't think Golden State starters are going to play more than 3 quarters because I think that they're going to win this game by 30. So I don't know what I actually like.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just wait for the bench players to come out.
Yeah.
Maybe, no. They might pull DiVincenzo too.
I got to give a shout out to Mamu Ginobili. I'm back on the Mamu train.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a good one.
How did he do last game? I want to say he did decently, but Mamu's been a little, he's been a nice surprise there off the bench. He had 17 points against Utah. I think I saw 15-1. I think I saw like 15 points was like 8-1 last game. But yeah, he's been doing pretty well. Played 29 minutes last game. I'll keep taking Mamu.
All right. Let's go on to the next game of the slate. We have the Sacramento Kings on the road going to play the Portland Trail Blazers. Line opened up at minus 12.5 for the Kings on the road. Now it's up to 14. 231 is the total injury report. We have Matthew Dellavedova. Wait, what? You're still in the league. Matthew
Dellavedova's still
Dellavedova
hanging in there.
is out for the Kings, and for the Trailblazers. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. No Grant, no Simons, no Nurt, no Dame, no Winslow. What's my guy from Villanova's name again? Whatever
Oh,
he
there's a lot of guys from Villanova.
Artesanio, whatever.
You're going with Arcidiacono?
Arcidiacono, my guy. He's doubtful. Cam Reddish is doubtful. Trendon Watford is questionable. All of this really doesn't matter. Like, truly, honestly, this injury
You mentioned the injury report.
doesn't matter.
We don't have a hangover report though. That's the problem. We don't have a
Oh
sobriety
my
report.
gosh.
It's just the problem.
Oh my gosh. It is just like if there's ever a spot to take Portland, it is this one right here. It's this one. They just clinched the playoffs for the first time since 2005. 2005. And now you're playing them again. Back to back.
I don't think I'm going to take the full game here because Portland's second half tanking is next level bad. I do like Portland first quarter money line and Portland first half money line. They hung around for a half against the Kings anyway, and then they casually lost by 40 points after halftime. But I do like Portland first quarter and first half money line. But when they decide to fully hit the tank switch in the second half of games, nobody should have money on them. I'll take the first half money line for Portland.
Yes, you have to just figure out how you're betting Portland in this game. That's honestly what it is. Like, you're just figuring out, how am I betting Portland in this game? Because you're betting Portland.
Half. We'll take it that way. Maybe you can get fancy with it. Take Portland first half money line, Kings full game money line. Maybe you can find a combo there. A couple books have a halftime full-time prop.
Yikes.
Just saying, you might be able to find some decent value if Portland takes advantage of a hungover team for this game.
And I'm pretty sure they won the first quarter last time.
They did.
Yeah, this is the ultimate letdown spot for the Kings.
It has to be.
All right, I really don't care about the total. I really don't care about the rest of this game, honestly.
I don't either.
I mean,
Shaedon Sharpe over because he played 45 minutes last game and they lost by 40 points.
And Nasir Little was incredibly he had the shot attempts. He was just incredibly inefficient. So I'll go back to Little at 14.
That is so funny though. They're like, yeah, we're gonna let the young guys play. They lose the game by 40, and they give Shaedon Sharpe 45 minutes and a 40-point loss. That's actually just hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah,
45.
It was just a highlight tape for him. It was just a highlight tape.
Oh, it is. That's why I'm going to take his overs because he proved last game he's officially the most blowout-proof player.
He's Jared Goff. He's Jared Goff in garbage time.
45 minutes and a 40-point loss is unheard of. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Give me Shaedon Sharpe 30+ points. Why not?
All right. Let's close this thing out with the Phoenix Suns welcoming the Denver Nuggets. Suns are laying 10, opened up at 6. Now they're laying 10. I guess that means
it really just comes down to one player, right? I mean,
pretty much. And total is at 226.5 for the Phoenix Suns. Clean injury report, nothing over anything. Yeah, nothing. Denver played yesterday. You'll see if Jokic plays with the calf injury. Jamal Murray doesn't look like he's playing because of injury management, and they haven't played him in back-to-backs at all this season. I mean, we've seen that the Nuggets are perfectly fine tanking the second leg of back-to-back.
They're still up like 3.5 games on Memphis because Memphis lost to the Clippers last game. So Denver's just chilling. You know, the thing is with Jokic missing more games, Embiid's MVP odds should be moving up because, you know, Jokic hasn't played much lately, but he doesn't need to and he doesn't care. I don't think he's going to play in this game. This line has moved. I think it was 5.5 on the overnight. Now it's 10. I think there's no chance Jokic plays in this game. So
yeah, they get
Phoenix.
Slaughtered. They get slaughtered. Phoenix minus 10. Give me.
And Durant's off a horrible shooting game. I think Durant bounces back and has a good game here.
Same total under for Denver as well.
What'd they score? 88 against New Orleans yesterday?
Yep. Yeah, offensively, this team is nothing without Jokic. And
No,
now you
they're
don't
really
have
bad.
Jamal Murray at all either. Yeah, team total under for them. I mean, do you have a prop? Any other props you just want to throw out there? I'm not getting into this game.
I was gonna say I might be tempted to maybe take like an under on Chris Paul, or maybe an under on a starter or two for Phoenix for points. Not Durant, because I think that he'll be focused on getting back on track. Booker's always tricky because he can always just have a masterclass game. But this is another game where I wouldn't be surprised if I told you that no Phoenix starter played more than 29 minutes. Like, would you be shocked if Phoenix comes out, wins this game by 20, and you see Cameron Payne playing the entire fourth quarter?
Oh, I'm going Terrence Ross because of that.
Okay, that's fine. But you get my point. The point is I'm going to lean Chris Paul under, but with Denver on a back-to-back, with Jokic probably not playing, it's in Phoenix. Durant was horrible last game. I think Phoenix comes out and buries them, and Denver's going to be very quick to wave the flag and keep some of the guys who played yesterday in good form for the Warriors game coming up this weekend. I like the under for a decent amount of starters in this game because I'm not sure how long the starters are going to play for Phoenix.
All right. Yeah, that's about it for this one. Lock and dog time for my lock. It's a lot to like.
There is a lot to like.
It's a lot to like on this slate. Let's go back to... It's one of those 7 o'clock games. It's either the Pacers and the Magic. Well, it looks like... Do you see some recent news for the Thunder? Because the line went from 2.5 to 4 for the Pacers.
Pacers are favored by 4, or they're getting 4?
No, they're getting 4 now.
I see Shea has been moved into the questionable tag. He's been upgraded to questionable.
All right. We'll go Magic -1.
Okay.
That's my lock. For my dog, oh my god, there's so many options. Yikes. I mean, do we just go back to Portland? We can go to Charlotte and go to Utah. We even have the Raptors. Oh man. All right, we gotta go back to Portland, man. There's no way.
I thought you were going to say Utah.
I really am. Well, yeah, because you'll probably take Portland, so I'll take Utah. I'm perfectly fine.
I'm not going to take Portland, but I thought.
Oh, you're not? Great. All right, cool. Then I'll take Portland. I'm fine with, because everybody knows I'm taking Utah, so I don't need to tell people I'm taking.
You want
Utah.
the full game, or you want the first half for Portland, or first quarter?
I will.
That second half was so bad. I don't think I can take Portland in a full game, but you shorten the game, you got a better chance.
I'm getting plus 220 for 1 quarter, plus 330 for a half. Let's take the quarter and just say they don't settle in. And the that would be the way I would go. A lot better. Yeah, let's take Portland first quarter plus 220, but I'm still going to play the first half line too, of course. But well, yeah, so all right, that's it. Orlando -1. Just call it Orlando money line because I hate when I be doing that 1 point stuff. And no, I lied. Yeah, you could say it -1. Whatever gives you the better odds, take it. And Portland in the first quarter plus 220. All right, Scott, over to you.
All right. So for my lock on the overnight, it was the Warriors -15.5. However, I'm not going to give it out again as a lock at 18. Like I'm just not going to do that. I think they're going to cover anyway, but I'm just not going to bother. My lock in this one, you know what? I'm going to expect a very close and ugly game in the in Philly. So I'm going to go with the Raptors +5 as my lock. I think that it's going to be a war. These teams play each other very close. Harden looked abysmal in that last game against Dallas, and Toronto's been playing good basketball. So I know JR in the comment section has been giving me a hard time for fading the Raptors all the time, and they constantly win. And the one time I back them, they end up losing. I don't really care, to be honest. I think it's a good spot for Toronto. And with Harden's injury that he's playing through, he's looked awful. They came back against Dallas because Dallas only scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, and Dallas has a hard time beating anybody. Give me the Raptors +5. I think they're actually quite alive to win that game, but I'll play it safe and I'll take the 5 points. Give me a rock fight nail biter in that one. For my dog, I am going to go back actually to a player prop. I'm going to go back to the Thunder and Pacers game. Give me Nembhard double-double at +500. He had 15 assists last game. It's +500. Indiana doesn't care about defense. Oklahoma City doesn't care about defense. You'll see a bunch of points, but it's mostly just getting a starting point guard who should play around 30 minutes in any game situation. And I think that double-double at 5-1 is a bargain on Nembhard. So I'll take that as my dog.
All right. Anything else that we have for today?
Not really. I also like the Portland first quarter, first half stuff, so that's an honorable mention there. A lot of good games on the card, or at least a lot of fun betting games on the card, so hopefully we'll cash a couple of big tickets. Besides that, though, I'll be back once again tomorrow for the weekend show with Munaf and Delonte. And yeah, besides that, looking forward to the Final Four tomorrow.
All right, and I will see you all on Sunday. Other than that, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you are reviewing all of this other stuff. And yeah, we're here 2 hours in, so I have nothing else to say. Nothing else. Do no other way ending podcast. We're just gonna end it like this. We are out of here.